Welcome back to the GSL Code S. Either soO or GuMiho is about to be eliminated. That's weird that I said that. Are we in the round of 16?
Yes.
We're going to get rid of a GSL Code S champion or the most recent IEM Katowice champion? Is that?
That's right. That's
okay.
That's what's about to happen. Then we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again tasteless after that.
Wow.
No one's safe here except for one more of these guys who's safe here.
Rogue is waiting in the final match for the winner of this best of 3. Now, soO had a, it was such a short series that he had against Rogue, especially with Rogue winning with that Ling bust right away. We've had a couple moments with either soO or Rogue where a game comes down to a matter of a few fractions of a second as far as control goes.
Certainly.
GuMiho, who it's weird to say, I think in some ways has been overshadowed a little bit in this group. He looked pretty strong, although he was smashed by TY. Let's see what he's got in store here. This should be a very different TVZ than the one we already saw.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. Definitely both these guys have different styles than the previous two players. GuMiho very likely to end up going for some mech. soO, very good macro player, but isn't as much into the end game compositions. Excited to see what these guys go for, man.
Okay, game 1 will be on New Repugnancy. Again, the loser of this best of 3 is out of the GSL Code S Season 1, at least. This is the group of death. It's this crazy. This is our reality. All right, game 1 is ready. Let's go.
게임이 시작됩니다. 뉴 리퍼그넌시 게임 준비 완료. 치보 수.
It would be so sad to see him lose now after just finally getting first place after so many finals.
Well, I mean, he just
쌀성 게이밍 구미호.
He just won like the second biggest tournament of the year. I think it's all right to let someone else go advance.
No, you know what? You're so wrong.
What about GuMiho? He hasn't won a tournament forever.
No, it's not about GuMiho right now. I know he's a person with hopes and dreams, Ro.16, but right now...
He also practices really hard, just as hard as soO.
Tell you what, Ro.16. Yeah. I'm all about the soO right now.
Yeah,
I'm on the soO hype train. Oh, nice. A lot of great signs in the audience here. A lot of really good international mix here. Lots of Koreans, lots of non-Koreans coming down.
Yeah, indeed. It's an amazing audience here today. Much bigger than our normal GSL crowd. Well, it's such a great group. Can't blame them. Saturday afternoon. What else are you going to do? Go to the mall or watch a movie? That's stupid.
Yeah, that's silly.
You do that after.
Oh, wow. More soO support here.
Probably kissing Todd's name right on that trophy.
That's right.
What is that poster? Like, what was that made out of? Did I have like, did I have like one of those sheets of plastic that like protect electronics over it? Like what? I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, and why was it still on it when they showed it?
Yeah.
You know?
Or is this like a type of art where you make stuff fuzzy and like unclear? It's like if you had glaucoma, that's what this would have looked like to you. Like, wow, that's a sick poster.
Wow. Now I know I should take care of my eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Reaper coming in here. Looks like it's going to come out unscathed as well. Doing a little bit of damage here. Now again, GuMiho has a very, very different play style from TY. It's going to be very cool to see how these two play styles interact, especially with the modern approaches we're having here from all these guys. You know, StarCraft 2 is not all mapped out yet. We're seeing all these different variations in how people approach the game.
Absolutely, and that's, I mean, at the top level, that's really what you're always hoping to see in an RTS game. You know, whereas everyone just buys the best gun in the other game, or like, you know,
yeah,
makes the shields with the big guy with the shields. It's like, yeah, that's cool. Okay, but anyways, here everyone is kind of stylistic, has their own stuff going on. And that's, as far as Terrans go, that's one of my favorite things about all these top Terrans, is they all play so distinctly.
Fusion core.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Oh, tasteless. Oh,
Okay.
Oh, Mr. T.
This is going to be fun. So we're going to have battle cruisers coming up here.
Excellent.
But first, a Banshee's going to be made.
Is he going to make that Banshee all the way?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I guess the fusion core takes a long time to make.
You might as well get some kind of value out of just having the starport there.
Yeah. Oh, he cancels it.
Okay.
I think that's one of
There
those
it
things
is.
where, like, if you see roaches coming, you let it finish.
Mm.
Well, there's a roach warren coming. Battlecruiser on the way right now, though. Oh, this is exciting. I love this.
Now, we were talking about this last night in our Friday night broadcast, but we got to kind of think of the battlecruiser as the hero unit, okay? And the GuMiho is actually the one that's flying it.
Well, he is in a way, right?
Yeah. And if that battlecruiser dies, then he dies too. Just like a hero unit in the single-player campaign.
Yeah, just like in real life.
Yeah.
Just
like
when you're
in
dreaming and
Inception,
stuff,
right?
you know? If you're dreaming and you die in the dream, you die in real life.
Exactly.
It's not true. As far as I know. I've fallen far enough that I should have died in my dream.
Third command center, walling in the entrance here.
It's like, where do they come up with that stat, by the way? It's like just someone dies in their sleep. They're like, yeah, he must have dreamed that he died. Like, no, I don't think so.
He was in the third layer of Inception is what happened.
I think probably it was more likely like a heart attack or something. But okay, the roaches are coming up, but the battlecruiser is just about to pop out. He is getting Yamoto to help deal with some queens.
All right, get ready. And run.
Do you jump onto the roaches?
No, you definitely do not do that.
But as the battlecruiser gets a little bit further, he's going to turn the roaches around.
Yeah.
Because you can't just chase all day.
So we might see the jump happen a little bit here. You can kill a lot of workers this way.
Ooh, look at that turnaround. It's like a much better Phoenix.
Now, you know, driving those roaches away, it's not the end of the world here for Zerg. I mean, you've had plenty of time to get ready for the fact that the battlecruiser is going to come into play here. But the battlecruiser could be handy in pushes later on. And you got to be careful when you come in here like this. The queens have a lot of creep. They can still chase you away.
Yamato is going to be finishing pretty soon here, as is the second battlecruiser. Going into mech from here, of course, is GuMiho.
Yep, it's expected that we're going to have this mech style here.
I love these battlecruiser strategies. It's so cool.
I think the more that we see this, the more this may just become a part of the entire meta here in TVZ.
You know, it's done well so far.
Yeah.
All the battlecruiser games we've had in GSL, this is the third one.
I feel
the first two won.
Yes.
So, but I feel like strategies like this, where it's a very, very high-end unit early on, we've never had a strategy like that stick around ever in any StarCraft version. Most
of the major units that we've seen used on in StarCraft 2 were in Wings of Liberty at the start. We did see some battlecruiser rushes. We did see some Thor drops. If you remember way long ago, that was kind of the thing, was to pick up a Thor and fly it around and try to do damage there. But I think this is still so novel, especially in modern SC2, that Zergs have not quite come up with a way to deal with it. I mean, look at this. There's 7 drones killed already.
Yeah, and he got the queen. It's ridiculous.
And the thing about the way, the modifications that they've made now with the battlecruiser is anywhere it's present, its damage is consistent.
Yeah.
Which is different than the way it behaved in earlier games. Ooh.
But yeah, it's really hard to have an actual balance of top-end tier unit in the early game. It's like very near impossible because it's such a straightforward thing because it's one unit. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like StarCraft is much more about like managing economy and getting a bunch of units and moving them around into different locations. When it's just one unit, eventually you're going to figure out if it's too strong or too weak. You know, like eventually people will just know what to do against a strategy, or the strategy is actually too strong. That's almost so far it's always been the case.
Now look at this, some Ravagers being made with these Corruptors already out here now. It's actually 2 battlecruisers this time around. But Roach Ravager Corruptor,
Yeah.
this might be a lot of damage right away. And you can see immediately, oh, does not get the Yamato off. And now the Corruptors are going to continue to dive over here. Looks like they should be able to take out the second battlecruiser as well. These tanks are firing down on these Roaches and Ravagers.
He gets 2 battlecruisers and going after this third now. He is over some turrets, so I don't think he's actually going to finish that one off.
I think he might actually, this might just be too much damage here.
Well,
unfortunately, the battlecruiser, the one battlecruiser is staying alive, but there's so many Roaches coming out here. Already 15 SCVs have been killed.
Yeah, quite a strong counterplay right here coming out of soO. GuMiho taking tons of damage. It felt like his harassment was doing very well, but definitely being punished. Oh my god, look at that. The Corruptor's actually going after the command center.
I didn't even see that. SCVs are trying to repair, but there's more Roaches coming forward. The tank set up over here to try to buy some time.
Once the DPS jumps up on that caustic spray or whatever we call it, it's ridiculous. So had to repair a lot there. 40 SCVs down.
So many dead SCVs here. You can see GuMiho's frantically trying to remake them. The battlecruiser's going to try to come in here. The battlecruiser, along with that tank that was in siege mode at the natural, really the only thing that was allowing Terran to stay in the game.
Yeah, the Corruptors really kind of messed him up. If he had had 3 BCs there, obviously you can never attack in with the Roach Ravager. So a nice job by soO, adjusting his tech appropriately.
Okay. Let's see here. As the dust settles, soO is going to continue to try to max out here on Ling Roach. I think he's going to try to do a follow-up attack and end this game. And I can't really blame him. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You get the Corruptors to kill the battlecruisers. It's much more easy to mass make Corruptors, as the battlecruisers have to increment out one by one from the starport. Whereas the mass Roaches, I mean, it's just so much muscle. And if you kill off all the battlecruisers, then I think most certainly you can kill off everything on the ground here for GuMiho.
Yeah. Well, it does connect with those Corruptors at first. Here he comes in. There are some siege tanks set up. Of course, Corrosive Bile's immediately taking out that siege tank on the high ground. This is not looking good.
Battlecruiser, I think, jumped over to the bottom right. We see a blip on the mini-map there.
Yeah,
and now it's these Liberators, which are not going to fare well against these Corruptors.
No, the Corruptors really have messed up all the plans of GuMiho here. And he's doing some damage on the other side, but gosh, that is a lot of Roach Ravager doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, this battlecruiser is never going to be able to match the amount of damage that's happening on this side of the map.
What if
Hellions
you throw
coming
some Hellions in though, Tasteless?
Well, let's find out, Artie. I think the Roaches are eventually going to spawn out here and chase this away too. The thing is, with this many hatcheries, I think you could just remass out all your drones over here. The battlecruiser's gone. Air presence is basically not really existent for Terran anymore.
Yeah. Well, look at the worker counts now. They've both killed each other's economies very, very heavily.
Sure.
Is there a comeback potential here for GuMiho?
I wish there was. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I mean, it's GuMiho on 2 bases. There's
feel like
so many more opportunities. In fact, look at this tech switch, Artosis. 10 mutas now being made.
Yeah, how do you stop that? Oh my god, like you just have to start making some Thors, which obviously aren't that good against Roach.
Yeah, maybe with another counterattack here with these Hellions. It does seem like the majority of the army for soO is actually out on the middle of the map, so there's nothing really to defend back at home.
Oh, that's funny. He actually just canceled all the mutas that were at this base as these Hellions were coming. Yeah, I think it's just a pure hiding thing because he needs the mutas to get there. Like, if they pop out right here and you start Thors, that's a lot less damage that they're going to get done. Look at that. Nice Liberator. Getting a bit of harassment done as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that I think GuMiho has going for him is the distraction of this Liberator. Now, the Mutalisks are hatching. And I'm not clear on the anti-air. It seems like it's mostly tanks. Yeah, you can see he's been behaving as though the real threat was Roach Ravager. But I think with this many mutas, I don't know if the Cyclones are going to be that handy here.
Well, he is making some Thors right now, but it is going to take a little bit. Cyclone's doing something at least. These turrets helping out as well. And the longer time that we see soO attacking into missile turrets and whatnot, I mean, that's damage that's not being done to the SCVs. Again, those are tanks he's not killing.
So he's trying to get rid of these tanks so that the Roach Ravager army can come in here next. You're trying to offset the unit composition of your opponent and see how these tanks in the high ground will go down. Yeah. That'll mean the Roach Ravager on the low ground will be able to come in here as well, and as the Thors will be popping out to try to get rid of these mutas. It's too late. GG.
Wow. Really good game there by soO. It was looking a little bit scary with the initial battlecruiser.
It was.
But you know what? He got right into those Corruptors, and GuMiho was not prepared for it.
So, GuMiho, I think he had some cool ideas coming into this game. But soO really showed how you can deal with that battlecruiser play. You were making a really interesting point earlier, Artos, as you were talking about how a lot of times these mega unit plays where you have like a battlecruiser, or, like we're talking about Thor drops and in the very early days of Wings of Liberty. Generally, these tend to get phased out because there's not enough moving parts for the other side to.
Yes.
There's
not much play in it. It's
right.
like it does what it does. Like anyone at home can control that battlecruiser exactly as well as GuMiho. It takes almost no APM. There's nothing too special other than knowing where to go with it and what to target, right? And those are so there isn't a lot of play. Now that being said, I don't think that is an unusable strategy here yet. I don't think what soO did is a perfect counter. If he had 2 more turrets, those BCs don't die.
마틴류 GSL 세즈넌 리제너레이션 게임이 시작됩니다. 오토메이션 게임 준비 완료. 치보 수 사이스톤 게이밍 구미호
Okay, very quick command center here.
Yeah, look at that. CC first. I like it. Nothing weird coming out of soO as of yet. So.
It's been such a great audience here tonight.
Indeed.
Then again, I'm not surprised this many people showed up, So many great players here.
Well, it is really the group of death. You look at all these groups, and this one just on paper is so ludicrous. It's like 4 players that would easily be round of it in most groups.
Sure.
I mean, GuMiho is up and down as far as hitting round of 8s. Round of 16 is definitely not uncommon for him. But he's in the type of form right now where I think that a round of 4 is not out of his reach. But this group is so hard that, he has to do a hell of a lot to get there.
Ling speed as well as 4 Zerglings coming out here. You can see GuMiho is patrolling around this possible third base, trying to just monitor the growth rate here of soO. And I think this is probably going to be an overall a short game here. Unless soO does something really crazy. I'm sorry, I mean a long game here.
Oh, okay.
Nothing's going to be going on that's going to be too crazy to be good. Unless soO decides to do something hyper-aggressive out of nowhere.
I don't think he will, though. I don't
agree.
think that there's really anything he can do. The window is kind of already passed. There's going to be Hellions coming out pretty soon, and then it's like, what are you gonna make a roach war and then walk across this map and do what with the roaches? So it does feel to me as well that we are going to go into a much bigger macro game here than that previous game, at least.
Now, GuMiho went for something. It's pretty new. It's pretty fresh. But this is kind of a more tried and tested RTS technique to come out here with, is the greedy quick command center. If it can't be punished early on, you're going to have a lot of strength in the later part of the game, and in the mid game where you can come out and push.
Economy is surprisingly more.
Yeah. Now we saw TY do this really effectively. Now that being said, I thought that there was actually a pretty decent hold as the game went on in the TY game against Rogue. It just seemed like as we get further and further along, I actually thought the Zerg was going to come out on top, but it was such a good, nice push at the very, very end that allowed him to stabilize. Like it was actually kind of a nail biter.
Yeah, in that same situation, if Rogue had, for instance, gone into Hydralisks, instead of trying to get all the way up to Hive Tech, I mean, obviously the whole game looks a little bit different, but that's the type of staying power for the mid game that really keeps you alive. Whereas you're on Ling Bane, you're you're kind of relying on out-macroing your opponent and getting those connections. And when that doesn't work, they're going to be able to break through. Ling Bane does not have a long shelf life.
Yeah, it definitely has a time and a place. And you know, with Ling Bane, you basically have to do the damage with the Ling Bane there.
Well, generally, Ling
Unlike
Bane just all dies when it has an engagement, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I mean, the Banelings can die, but it depends on what do they die when they're hitting something.
Yeah.
If they die on Marauders, well, then the game's probably not going to go well for Zerg. If they die on Marines, it's probably a much better game.
Yeah. So the Viking right now clearing everything out. Looks like it will be a bio-based game here coming out of GuMiho. He's getting Stim, making a Marauder as well.
And this
Armory
is
on the way, maybe for some Hellbats.
And we've seen this as kind of a pendulum swing within best of threes and best of fives for the Terran, where they'll rotate between mech play and bio play, depending on their opponent and the map, and other various factors like the meta. Now here come those Hellions, and nice juggling here with GuMiho. But ultimately that didn't really get to kill any drones, so he'll have to back up.
Well, yeah, just a little bit slow at the moment, but he sees the third command center. Thing is, there is going to be a push coming on the way as well. It's only drones being made right now by soO.
Yeah, I'm wondering if soO's being a little bit too greedy. But, you know, so much of Zerg is the balancing act of getting just enough drones out and then switching into having enough of an army that you can then hold them off while you're constantly trying to stay slightly ahead.
These three Marauders definitely going to add a bunch of damage in there. The Hellbats are going to be coming up here as well.
The concussive shell was upgraded as well, which makes it much harder to get away in moments like this. Look at this, the Hellions go right through and start to target down a lot of these drones.
Yeah. It's like he does not even really need to help his Marauders right now against those Roaches. They're buying a lot of time, so he can kill off so many drones. Hellbat's not required.
Yeah, nicely done. 11 kills. He actually gets away with a decent number of the Hellions as well. And Stim's going to be finishing up here, and Stim is the moment where infantry can actually come out on the map and start to really fight. Except for that TY game where he had Banshees and tanks and Marines with no Stim, but that was sort of a weird new age approach.
Yeah. So Roach is just being produced right now by soO, and he's getting the 1-1 for them, but this isn't like one of those 1-1 timing pushes, I don't think. We see him also getting the Infestation Pit. So it seems like he's just kind of utilizing this set of tech right now. He might actually think that this is a still going to be a mech push. It's like possibly thinks that, but
keep in mind with the Ravagers here, if he has enough, he can actually gun down the tank. And with Roach Ravager, you can actually keep the Terran probably at bay. It's going to be much harder to land this third base here.
Going to back up for the time being. That Hydralisk Den on the way as well as the Hive.
And I like this move. Until you can get a tank on the low ground, there's really not a lot you could do to contest this. And frankly, even if you do have a tank on the low ground, I think the Ravagers could possibly come up there, assuming the tank's in siege mode, and try to snipe it down.
Yeah, if you push back that bio just a little bit, you definitely can't get there. But yeah, look at this unit comp that he's making, right? He has a lot of Roach Ravager, he's going into Hydras, and he's kind of rushing Hive. It feels like an anti-mech set of units. Obviously, he knows now that it is bio, and he has to play with what he's got, but it's not... I don't feel like this is a fantastic army against what GuMiho is doing.
That's one of the things about Roach Ravager is it has a place in the game where it's very strong, but if you stick with it for too long and the other player is teching up steadily enough, they're going to have a better unit composition to take on what you've got.
Yeah. Like, for instance, if we had seen GuMiho add a second factory by now, you know, just siege tanks in general are great counter to this. But if you macro up bio very heavily, have some siege tanks there as well, that's going to work out just fine. There are a couple Vipers on the way. Definitely will help that comp out quite a bit.
soO trying to push his creep out as much as he can. It can be kind of tricky to manage to do that when you have, you know, medevacs and Marines there stimming and gunning down any creep timbers that you have. And there's been some pretty modest harassment here from the Hellions at this point in time in the game here from GuMiho. Just trying to kill off whatever he can take on.
2-2 starting here on both sides, a little bit quicker for Gumi.
As we get close to 10 minutes here, we're going to be maxing out pretty quickly. So the Vipers are now being incorporated with the rest of this army. You know, to be frank, soO's creep spread is actually pretty abysmal. He's really having a hard time getting that much further out. Yeah, he's been controlled for most of this game here by GuMiho.
Doesn't seem like he's got too high of a clean count here either.
Yeah.
Now look at this push coming out. decent chunk of Marauders, a lot of Marines, couple siege tanks. That can be a little bit hard to engage with the type of unit he's got. That's funny.
Oh, this is not a place you want to fight with Roach Ravager.
Over the minerals.
Yeah, over the minerals.
It's like two dogs barking each other from a different fence. Like,
yeah. Okay, I heard a mass pickup. Oh, excuse me, just one medevac picking up here. So right now, GuMiho's going to try to abuse this area where the gold minerals are, hop over a few units and try to fish them in to absorb siege tank shots. And now he's going to slowly ferry a few more units over there. And this might be an unwise time to pick up as we have an attack coming here from behind. Blinding Clouds on those tanks.
And the Blinding Clouds doing a great job. These Hydras definitely helping as well, but everything being ferried to the left-hand side here.
Yeah, he's going to try to come back up here. There's a lot of Hydras and Roaches here. It seems like he might just barely have enough. Funny how that was. It was supposed to be the strong position on the right side of the minerals, but then as the rest of the army was picked up and moved over there, soO had an opportunity to wipe out one half of the army and then loop around and face the other half.
No.
And now it's GuMiho on the run again. soO's beginning to expand out. Both players taking an additional base, putting soO at 5 and GuMiho at 4. Oh my God.
Coming out once again. This little Zerg army should not be able to do too much against this Bioforce. 2-2 did finish. 2-2 not ready yet for soO.
Oh my God. That was a really, really bad exchange there for soO. soO's scrambling back now. Again, we don't have any creep over this gold base area here. And we're going to have to get this whole area cleaned up. Terran can continue to try to press in that specific area and do damage.
Well, his creep spread, you're definitely right about that. It's not fantastic at the moment, which is inhibiting him quite a bit, especially with an army like this. This is not like Lingbane Muto, where you can just run around very quickly to clean things up. The Roach Hydra army, definitely a lot slower, needs that creep spread.
Oh, I don't know about this angle here, Artosis.
Well, he's got Blinding Cloud.
Nice Blinding Clouds.
Yeah.
Can he actually push it any further? By the way, we don't, I believe we have it on camera, but there's a big drop. There it is, coming down. Oh, but does Zerg have too much over here? These Blinding Clouds forcing the Terran to respect the Zerg's presence.
Yeah, the ultimate zoning spell here being used so well. He is going for it. Look at that, another Blinding Cloud forcing his units to run forward to actually engage. A lot of free hits here by soO.
Oh, soO's so good. No, this is the worst. Okay,
he's got it.
All right, that would have been like the biggest misplay in GSL history, and he let the hatchery survive. The problem is that there is this army of Zerg barreling in here, and frankly, every Blinding Cloud forces the Terran to give up a little bit of positioning here, and now it's GuMiho actually supply blocked.
Yeah, he's definitely in some trouble here, but he's got a bigger army right at this moment. So it seems like he should be able to clear that out, but the amount of damage he took is really significant.
Medevac's got to be getting low on energy here. Now, even though that attack was cleaned up, I mean, GuMiho's army has been reduced pretty heavily in size. It seems like what soO wants to do, considering that he has this expansion advantage, is just continue to muster up more Roaches and Hydras and just fight head-to-head.
Pulling back for now. GuMiho going to try to keep this aggression going.
Now, I don't know if this is a good decision here by GuMiho, but I don't know what other options he really has here.
Yeah,
he's looking for a fight. By the way, Zerg getting that gold base means we're going to have a lot more Roach Hydra coming out here.
Yeah, that is certainly for sure. 3-3 is actually on the way for soO, which is really nice to see, but only +3 for GuMiho. He's been stunted in a lot of ways right now. He does have his bases mining once again, uses that main CC to land where that third died.
Okay, nice little attack over here. But you can see GuMiho's not comfortable sieging up. He's not comfortable holding his ground anywhere. GuMiho knows if he loses a fight with this army, it's going to be easy for soO to barrel across the map and knock out that same expansion that's only just now been reclaimed. Keep in mind that the top expansion here for GuMiho, the one just to the right of 12 o'clock, it's not that well defended. If soO can actually get over there, he can really beat down on that base.
Yeah. For sure he could. Might be a little bit hard to get up there because GuMiho is doing kind of what he needs to do, staying out on the map with this Bioforce. He's just running around, he's clearing whatever creep he can. He's keeping the pressure on the edges.
Okay, more Blinding Clouds, again, forcing GuMiho to back up. Certain number of Marines and Marauders getting hemorrhage there. And we should have a few more Blinding Clouds, and this is the angle that soO wants to come in here and hit at.
Yeah, this army is just so frightful at the moment.
Meanwhile. Okay, this means that upper right expansion, I think this is going to be hit, right?
Yeah, I mean, he can Blinding Cloud that planetary, so that's kind of nice. But if he gets flanked against it, that can be a problem. I feel like soO should... He has so much supply, though. I was going to say turn around. But look at that supply advantage.
Oh my gosh, this expansion to the top is fairly naked. I don't think there's really that much to defend here, but soO also needs to be careful to not get himself in a bad position because it can be hard to retreat with concussive shells at play here.
And rebuilding that Roach Hydra army, if you do not like re-max on it, you're going to have a hard time fighting GuMiho.
Oh, nicely done.
Really great. I love Parasitic Bomb in the late game against Terran.
Yeah.
Just so strong to whittle down those medevacs.
Well, soO's maxed out again. Looks like he wants to pick a fight once more. Greater Spire on the way here as well.
Yeah, that's a super powerful check transition, especially when you've been on Roach Hydra all game long. It's kind of almost like watching a ZVP, but if they're focusing heavily on things like Siege Tanks, Marauders, and Marines, which are what you want to use against this army, Broodlords can catch them off guard really badly.
Yeah, it's a good point. soO hasn't grown anymore expansion-wise, but he does seem to have a better army, but GuMiho's going to try to come out on the map here. Do we have the Vipers at play here? Actually, it might not even matter. This is such a ridiculous amount of Roach Hydra.
I don't see them right now.
There they are.
They're probably just charging up somewhere. You had to plug them into the extractors.
That's right. Now there's a small drop that's going to be sent out to try to draw some attention away from this. And we're going to have this Terran army just get surrounded. In fact, one more Blinding Cloud, yeah. And suddenly Terran has to micro away from his own expansion.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that actually could be it.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
I don't think that GuMiho's got anything left here.
No. You see GuMiho's trying so hard, but soO just seems to have a much better idea of how to navigate this game to a victory.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
he's lifted the CC. He's going to pull the SCVs. Blinding Clouds coming down once more.
Greatly played here by soO. GuMiho, unfortunately, losing this group in a big way. TY really dismantled him, and now soO, I mean, it wasn't completely one-sided, but GuMiho seems like the weakest player today, which is hard to say ever in a group.
Well, you can see that we've got a lot of modernization of play coming out here with all three of our players that have not been eliminated. I mean, TY clearly looked godlike, but GuMiho, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good enough, at least not for the hardest group in the round of 16.
Yeah,
and I feel for him, I do.
Me too. I'm a little bit heartbroken about it because I think that he's been playing very, very well recently. It's just, this group is tough, as you said.
Okay, we're going to a break. When we come back, our final match, soO versus Ro.